so again, welcome to the second part of the Hawaii Counselors webinar series. This topic is on how to prepare your students while in high school for their college majors. And we have a bunch of guests with us here today. So Jill, you're in the top right corner, so let's start with you and then we can go down the other guests.
Hi, I'm Jill Nakatsu. I'm the Director of Academic Affairs for the College of Engineering. Welcome, everybody, today.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Claire Fujioka. I'm the Undergraduate Admissions Advisor with the Schuyler College of Business. So all that means is I do the undergraduate admissions for the college.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leilani Harjati, and I'm an academic advisor at the Manoa Advising Center for Exploratory Students. And so we work with students who are undecided in their majors or might be exploring multiple majors. Thanks for having us today.
So with that, yeah, let's hand it off to the presenters.
All right, so we're going to start off discussing the second language requirement. So for a majority of colleges and majors at Manoa, a second language is required as part of their degree. And students need equivalency up until the 202 level. So that's 2 years of proficiency. So it's a 101, 102 as a first year, and then 201 and 202 as a second year. We encourage students who are currently taking a second language in high school to highly consider taking a language placement exam when they attend Manoa, so that one, they don't have to go back and relearn the introductory knowledge, but secondly, they can also place into a higher level and then potentially earn back credits for that language. So for example, if you have a student who's currently in the Japanese language in high school right now, and it's a language that they want to continue in college, they can look to take the Japanese placement exam. And then depending on what level they test into, so let's say they place into the 201 level, if they pass that 201 course with a C or higher on their first attempt, they can actually petition for the back credits for 101 and 102. And so because the Japanese language is a 4-credit course, they can actually potentially earn 8 credits towards their degree without paying tuition on that by placing into the 201 level. So if they place into the 202 level, pass that on their first attempt with a C grade or higher, they can petition for the 4812 credits for Japanese 101, 102, 201. They've taken the 202 course and now they've fulfilled the second language and they don't need to continue in a second language. And so something to keep in mind is not all colleges and majors require a second language. Engineering and nursing, for example, do not require a second language, but a majority of majors do. There are also some options for different majors. So for example, for business, we have a few options for our students to fulfill the second language requirement. On that website, there's something called the language substitution list, and it will actually list out the 4 options for business majors to pursue to fulfill that second language requirement. For example, if a student studies abroad in the fall or spring semester, then we will waive the second language requirement, meaning that they don't have to do any language requirements. So as Leilani is kind of scrolling, you can see the culture option and the combination of options. So business students have an option to do that. Oh, sorry, I'm a bit soft. So this is for business majors specifically, but again, for other majors, students should consult with their academic advisor to see what major options there are. But for STEM majors, they do need to place into math. So I'll let Jill go ahead and take that away.
I apologize for the technical difficulties, you guys. Suddenly our presentation disappeared. So Jill, I'm actually going to hand it to you.
Oh, okay. Let me open it.
Okay, wait, while Jill is doing that, Randy just typed in a question. His question is whether it's difficult to petition for the back credit if they test into a higher level. It is not difficult at all. Once they pass the course with a letter grade, they just have to fill out a form and then they submit it to an office, and then the registrar's office will process it, and then it'll automatically be put into the student's academic record.
Okay, so presentations back up, and one thing to remind your students who are interested in STEM majors, so not just engineering, but all like the physical sciences and life sciences and math and whatnot, um, they are eventually going to need to take a placement exam or have like the appropriate AP scores and stuff to place into pre-calc or calculus and the different chemistry courses at Manoa. So what you want to do right now is remind your students in high school that if they are planning to go into STEM, they want to make sure they take these courses, the high school versions of them, so they have the appropriate background to then do well on the college placements to get into the highest level that they can. And that will give them a really good foundation to start off in college, right? So you want to make sure that they're taking those classes. And a lot of times, you know, students take chemistry, I think like maybe sophomore year or junior year, and they're going to have to remember some of that stuff for the placement exam that they take, you know, at the end of their senior year going into college. So just remind them to not totally forget everything or like throw away all their notes kind of thing. It's just a good tip for them to have. Next part is talking a little bit about the AP and IB scores and like the different early college courses that are available to high school students, right? So what's on the screen right now is a couple of links to admissions website that has the PDF documents with all the AP and IB exam scores and the transferable UH credit, or what they would get credit for here at UH Manoa. So I just took a screenshot of the top portion of the AP document. So this is not the full list, obviously. Just to give you an idea of what it looked like, right? So different exams that they can take, or different high school courses, AP courses they can take and take the exams for. Scores that they would get is in the next column. If they get those scores, then we would give them the appropriate UHM credit that's listed at the far right. So what AP, IB, or early college courses should your high school students be taking? What I recommend is anything that satisfies either an admissions requirement to a certain program, so what they need to get into engineering, or what they need to get into business, or what they need to get into, you know, whatever it is they want to do. Or if it satisfies an actual program requirement, so something they actually need to take for their degree later on. So for example, you know, engineers need to take calculus. So if they get credit for Calc 1, that's great, right? That satisfies something that they're going to need. An example of something that that will happen sometimes is that students will take a bunch of AP high school courses, take those AP exams and get different, you know, get the scores appropriate for certain UHM credits. But not all UHM credits apply to every single degree, right? So whereas, you know, for business, they need to take some accounting courses, maybe. Engineering doesn't need accounting courses, right? So you want to make sure that the student is, or is not expecting to get credits for things that do not actually apply to their degree. So for example, an incoming engineering student might take this AP computer science principles course, this bottom one right here. And they score a 4 on the exam. So that gets them 3 credits of ICS 103. ICS 103 is not anything that actually satisfies a requirement for an engineering student. So it's not on our program sheet or our list of classes needed for graduation. So while they'll still earn that credit and have ICS 103 on their transcripts, we're not actually going to use it towards anything for engineering in particular. So just something to keep in mind as students sign up for different AP exams. I mean, it's always great to take AP courses, like, you know, never discourage someone from doing that, but certain actual AP exams are more worthwhile taking, right, and paying for. So how do you know if something's going to actually fulfill a program requirement? You can check our program sheets. So the link provided on this website is a link to all the different program sheets for every single major on campus at UH Manoa. There are the program sheets and the 4-year plan templates. Program sheets list out all the courses that are needed for graduation in a big, like, kind of nice list thing. The 4-year plan templates is what I have a screenshot of right now on the screen for mechanical engineering. So it's kind of just 4-year plan with all the different semesters and all the different courses listed into it per semester. So if you go back to that previous example where I said, you know, ICS 103 doesn't count for engineering, if you look at the mechanical engineering 4-year plan, you don't see ICS 103 anywhere on this, right? And that's how you know that it doesn't count. But I guess flip side to that is, if I go back one, if your students took computer science A, right, instead of computer science principles, and they got a 4 on the exam, they would get 4 credits for ICS 111. And ICS 111 is then a requirement here under the first year. It's EE 160 or ICS 111 is a requirement. So that's how you can kind of double check or have your students check out whether or not something's really going to be worthwhile for them to try to get the AP credits for. And same thing for early college, right? Early college is generally just college level courses that students take during high school, right? With our community college system. The community colleges generally have the same names for all of their courses as UH Manoa. There are a couple exceptions here and there. And you can always check with an advisor if you're kind of concerned about it. But yeah, that's how you can tell whether something's gonna count. And so one of the biggest things I recommend too is that during high school, students should focus on the high school courses that will give them the appropriate background for their college program, instead of just taking college courses that might not apply or do not apply to their actual program. So in favor of taking, like a speech 151 course that's not required for engineering, they should be concentrating on trying to get through the calculus, up to calculus, or taking the physics that maybe they didn't need to take, kind of thing. A lot of times when I review applications for incoming students to College of Engineering, what I see is that some students have like a ton of AP credits. Like they got 20 something AP credits, right? And you would think that they would be further along in their degree program, but I'm still gonna accept them to pre-engineering, because instead of taking the calculus that they needed, or taking the physics that they needed, or the chemistry, they focused on these other courses, got college credits for things that don't apply to our degree program, and then they're behind in our program. So they really want to be careful, and high school courses should be the things that give them the right background for what they think they want to do in the future. Turn it back over to Claire. She can talk about businesses, auto or direct lending.
If you have a student who knows that they do want to pursue business as their major, there are 2 types of admissions options for the Charlotte College of Business. The one specifically for incoming freshmen is our freshman direct admit program. It is an invitation merit-based program, and to apply, students would just select business or any one of our business majors as their intended major when they apply to UH Manoa. And what we look for is a high school GPA of 3.5, and then either a 25 ACT composite or a 1200 SAT combined. If a student has a GPA in one of those test scores, then they will automatically receive an invitation. However, it's important that they indicate that business is their intended major when they apply, because we're not going to look for engineering students with these qualifications to invite them into our direct admit program.